Now, let me get your brief comments, my guests in the studio, before we take a break and return to look at the state of the nation. So I'll begin with you, Sam George.
Well, something, very good morning to you and very good morning to our viewers. And permit me to say a belated happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
My condolences go to the family of the slain 22-year-old soldier, Imoro. Loss of life of any man or woman who has taken an oath to serve his country in any capacity is most unacceptable. In fact, the unfortunate loss of any Ghanaian life is most unfortunate. But in this instance, given the manner in which his life was taken, I share my condolences with the family. And you just need to see the reaction of his mother and how broken she is, and the problems that is going to bring to that family. To know that your son, especially in the manner in which he was killed, in the area where he grew up, is most unfortunate. That said, to whom much is given, much is expected. There's a reason why we're being asked to respect the men and women in uniform. It's because they have a certain training that we, for quotes, want of a better phrase, bloody civilians don't have. They have a certain training that makes it, puts a certain burden of responsibility on them. We have seen too many reckless actions. And something, I have always held the view that the penchant of using our military as the first course of resort in interfacing with civilian populations is a recipe for disaster. Our military is absolutely not trained. We have some of the finest military officers in the world. Take it from me. And I've seen Ghanaian troops across the world. I had the opportunity of visiting Lebanon and went on a personal private visit to our troops there. And you just need to hear the praises on Ghanaian troops in Lebanon. We have very professional officers. However, that professional training does not extend to engagement with civilian population. The police is trained for that. The police is trained in crowd control, civilian control. The military is trained in suppression. And that is why every time we have seen the military, be it in Ejura, be it during the 2020 elections in Techiman, or in Odododiodio Ablekuma Central, or be it in Wa or in Boku, it has always had disastrous consequences with the loss of life. The military is simply not trained for that. We should stop putting the military in the forefront. And for me,
obviously, unlike the police or military, the police, they are trained to, if they have to arrest a suspect, they are trained to read to them their rights.
Absolutely.
And tell you that you are being arrested because you have done so and so. You have a right to remain silent. Otherwise, anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. And also to tell you that you have a right to call a lawyer of your choice to assist you. The military, nobody teaches them this.
Absolutely. They are not trained for this. And
because that's not their purpose.
That's not their purpose. The military's purpose is not to engage in I mean, a lot of respect for my learned senior Professor Enin, who I must state was a great resource for me in my dissertation that I did in my studies. But I mean, like you rightly put, there was nothing intelligent about what happened in Ashaman. The military has military intelligence, which is a wing that is versed and trained in gathering intelligence. I want to understand how intelligence gathering or an intelligence-led operation would involve lashing 184 men and asking elderly women to lie in pools of water, picking bottles and fetching water from gutters, dirty water from gutters, and giving to Ghanaian citizens whose taxpayers was used to fuel the armored personnel carriers and helicopters. How is that intelligence-led? Our military has goofed. I have great respect for the military, but the military high commander sanctioned this.
There are those who say there's a lot of indiscipline in this country. A generation that doesn't know how to respect elders and things. So you need some of these things once in a while to put the fear of God in people.
Well, given the asymmetric nature of national security, which Professor Christine spoke about again, and the threat of terror, what you're actually doing is beginning to build a cadre that is going to get angry, a cadre of young people that's going to get angry at our military. And if you're not careful, you're going to begin to see a lot of young people take up the law to take on the military. And so what the military is actually doing is actually going to exacerbate the problem.
So what should happen?
What should happen is, first and foremost, we must see discipline from within the military itself. This must be a watershed moment for us as a country, especially because the military high command takes responsibility for this. We must see the commander-in-chief himself take front and center role in this matter and demand answers of his military high command, the rank and file of the military that sanctioned this operation. This is a democracy. We cannot continue to have this. And something, look, it could have been me. Tulaku is a part of a shaman I use every day when going to my constituency, because Michelle Camp is the boundary of my constituency, and most of these officers were from Michelle Camp. So I could have been caught in that fire. Any of your reporters could have been going there to cover an early morning story. I mean, this could happen to anybody. And for someone who was in Ayaso West Wagon, I know what this can do to you. I know how look, it's the slightest thing that would lead to loss of life. So this is unacceptable, and we must condemn it in no uncertain terms.
Okay. Thank you. Can we hear?